again, guys. In this video I'll show you, we're gonna start playing with gems, and we're gonna make a full eternity ring. Okay, let's start with a finger rail. So let's make a circle from the front view and around 18 or whatever millimeters you want. That's our finger rail. So now we have to draw a stone, because you don't have stones here, so we have to draw them manually. So it's quite easy if they are round stones and princess cuts. Well, they are really easy, really. Center of circle, 0, enter. So now we would set the diameter for the stones, which could be, let's make it 1.5. Then here, this is quite the only tricky part. We have to set the dimensions for the stone. So what I do is I draw a line from 0, enter, going down. So this would give me this dimension, and then I draw a line that way. Okay, and then I basically make another circle and I move it up. Okay, of course you can measure the depth from this center point to here. Okay, so now let's say 1.2 for example. Okay, so if we know that the depth of the stone is 1.2, okay, we could make that line as a reference. Okay, basically what we need, it's a profile. Also, I don't know if I told you before, but if you press F7, you will hide the grid. Okay, so it could be quite useful. So yeah, basically what we need, it's a line like this. Sorry, like this. Okay, whatever dimensions you need, but a line like this. So with this we can create the stone. We can use revolve. Okay, so curve to revolve, this one, enter. Start of revolve axis from here to here, and then start angle 0 and revolution angle 360. So now if we go to shaded, we have a stone. Okay, it's not the same stones that you can use in Matrix, but it does the job. Okay, because this is just a reference. It's all we need really. So we can move the stone higher. Remember that you need to allow a bit of gap here, something like 0.5, could be a bit less. If you open this menu, here you have offset curve. So now if you set a distance of 0.4, yeah, okay, you will need to move it slightly up. Some people do less, but I always prefer to do something like this. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layers, because I want the stones to be in a new layer. So I create a new layer with a new color, let's say cyan. Okay, and I want this to be on the stones layer. I strongly recommend you to do this now, because imagine that you have many more stones and you want to hide them all at the same time. It's going to be much easier for you if they are all in the same layer. Okay. Okay, so now let's copy this stone all around the finger rail. So we open this menu. Here we have polar array. Center of polar array is going to be 0, enter. Number of items you don't really know, so you need to guess. Let's make 20. And then angle to fill 360. You see, I need more than 20. I don't need to cancel the command and do it again. I can just change this value here. So instead of 20, I could try 25. Oh, sorry, I need to click here. Now 25. You see, that's a bit better, but still not much. Let's try 35. That could be good. Let's try 38. Right. Also, now I accept, you have to make sure that here you have enough gap. I'm gonna make a shared claw setting. So probably, I mean, this gives me an idea of the stones I'm gonna need. But I'm still not sure if 38 is gonna be the final number. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw one setting with the claws, and then we'll see. How can I do that? You could use a line in order to make a line from center to the middle point. Okay, like this. And what I would do is just move this line from near to near, just to move it up. Okay, what I've done this move like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna actually make one of the claws to see if it's thick enough. I'm gonna make a pipe. Sorry, pipe. It's also here on the solids menu. Put it here, pipe. Okay. Thick no, that radius no, diameter. Diameter I'm gonna make it 0.8 and 0.8. Okay. This is actually quite alright. Okay. I know it's much bigger than it has to be. I'm gonna make it slightly thinner. So 5.7 and 0.7. Okay. Also, this claw is completely straight. Sometimes would be better if you tapered this, if you taper the claw slightly inwards. So if I move this that way, see this line now goes like that. Okay. So now if I make a pipe 0.7, okay, you can have an idea how this is going to look like. And now I'm gonna make a mirror, which is here. Sorry, start of mirror plane 0, enter, and then I press shift to have the opposite. Okay. Actually, I might just use this because this looks quite good so far. Okay, now I'm gonna chop off the claws. So I'm gonna get the line, the circle, and I'm gonna extrude it, and I'm gonna make a Boolean difference. So I select these two objects, enter, and then this object. Sorry, first object, these two, enter, and then this object and enter. Okay. Always the first set of groups are the ones that are going to be cut, and the second set of groups are the ones that are cutting. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do this again just to explain it a bit better. If I have a solid, so this is a solid, this is a solid, and this is a solid, I can make Boolean difference. First objects, enter, and second object, enter. Okay, right. Now I'm gonna make the bezel for this, the under bezel for this. How can I do that? Quite easy. I'm gonna select these two, and I'm gonna actually I'm gonna hide this object. So I select and I press hide, and now I'm gonna draw on this. You see, if you remember, we still have here the curve for the stone. Okay, you could use that, but you don't really have to. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to check here planar. Okay, so to make sure that whatever I'm drawing, it's going to be drawn on this construction plane. Okay, it's going to be completely flat, two-dimensional. Okay, so there are different ways to do this. Probably the easiest way is just to get this curve, make a slightly offset. So if I go to offset, I'm gonna offset that 0.2, it's a lot, 0.1. Yeah, I'm gonna move it slightly down. To do this, to move down from a perspective viewport, you need to press Control. So you press Control and you just drag down, you can move it down. Okay, and then I'm going to extrude it. If you see this, it's because the option both sides is set to yes. If you change it, it goes down. Okay, then let's see how that looks with the claws. So if we show the item, okay, you can see that the claw is very tapered and the setting is not. So we need to taper it. How can we do that? We have a line here, a curve, but we don't have one here. So we need to create a new line there. So we can just use duplicate edge, dap edge, which is also here, here, duplicate edge, and we select this edge. Okay, we get rid of this, and now this one we will need to scale it down. How can we scale it down? By using Scale 3D. There are different types of scale. Don't worry about this now. You will see them later in further videos. So Scale 3D, and we look for the center. Origin point, the center of the circle. And if we press Shift, we scale 3D, origin point, the center of the circle. We move the pointer further apart, press Shift, left click, and bring it down. Okay, something like that maybe. We can move it up a little bit. I'm always putting this circle inside the finger rail because I'm going to chop it off later. So I want to make sure that it goes below. Okay, now I need to turn this into a solid with two lines, two close circles. I'm going to turn them into a solid. Actually, I'm going to turn them into a surface and then I'm going to cap it. So I'm going to loft. I think we saw that before. Make sure that the arrows are pointing in the same direction. And okay, this is a surface. Okay, and now to turn it into a solid, we just need to cap. Okay, that looks better. Okay, then I'm gonna chop it off and see how it looks. Okay, so Boolean difference. We're starting with simple full eternity rings. In the next video, I'll show you how to make one with an open gallery. We could try to make it open later, but let's see. Okay, now we select the metal, and we need to make a polar array again. So polar array, center of polar array 0, enter, and it remembers the last amount of copies that we used before. So if we use 38, we press enter twice, and we should have it. Okay. Of course, the claws are way too big, so we can just chop it off. You could just make a line and use split, select the two objects, enter. Okay, this now is going to be an open surface, so we just need to cap it. Okay, and now we could make the copies. Still is not finished, we're gonna go backwards later, but I usually do this just to make sure that it looks alright. Okay, the only thing that we need to do is to make the holes. Okay, actually we could, no, let's go backwards. Okay, this is a solid and this is a solid, so we could make a Boolean difference with this, with this. The only thing is delete input no. Okay, if delete input is set to yes, we will lose this stone. So delete input no, and we have the setting for the stones. If I hide this, I have this. Okay, some people might do, and I understand that, would scale down the stone at this stage. So scale 3D, make sure you are not with planar, and that you're looking for the center, like that. Okay, so I'm scaling from here. So the hole would be much, the whole thing would be a bit more solid. Okay, don't worry if you lose this one, if you lose the stone, because what you would do, you see, this to me looks a bit better. What you could do is rotate, you select the stone next to it, rotate, center of rotation 0, enter, and copy yes. So first reference point here, second reference point here, and you got it back. Okay, so you basically sacrifice one stone to make a hole, which fair enough. Also, I think this, I'm going to change it a little bit. This claw, I might taper it a little bit. How can we do that? Right, so we need to redraw it. I mean, we don't need to do it, but it's gonna look a bit nicer if we do. So I make a line. You see here, because I chop it off, I lost the center point. So I need to recover it. How can I do that? By drawing a line. So if I draw a line, now I can look for this center point to the middle point here. And I have a line again. Okay. This is what I was telling you about when I say that I never make things the fastest way. Okay. So it's just good that you see these things, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna make a pipe. Pipe. 0.7 on top and 0.5 on the bottom, maybe. Let's make a copy that way. No. Let's make a pipe. I'm gonna make it 0.7 there and 0.6 in there. Okay. Now I'm gonna copy that there. So I'm gonna make a mirror to the other side. Also, something like this, because the stones are not very big, I could probably make it solid without the hole, but you could make it with the hole. Also, I was about to make a mistake. This is not right. This needs to go lower. You have to move it lower and then chop it off. Okay. So I extrude it. Chop it off. It looks a bit better. I'm gonna make a mirror. Okay. Let's see if we can probably make a hole there. The main thing you need to consider is this thickness, this wall thickness. So I duplicate edge, and I'm gonna make an offset. So offset, as you know, we probably need at least 0.8 thickness. You see 0.8 thickness goes there already, so in this case I would not do it. Okay, it's just that we don't have much metal. Let me try again, because sometimes it's not the same if you do offset or if you do offset curve on surface. Offset curve on surface. Select this surface, and this will basically make the offset exactly on the surface. The one that we were using before was making offset in thin air. Okay, so let's see 0.8. You see 0.8 leave us this. I would just not do it. It's just not even bother. Okay, if you use bigger stones, could work. Then before we make the final polar array, I'm gonna copy this here, because, and now I'm gonna hide this. Actually, I'm gonna put it in another layer, and I'm gonna name it claw, and I'm gonna make it red. Okay, so this I'll put it on that layer, and I'm gonna hide that claw. Why? Because I have this. It's called gap, which we should cover. Make sure planar is on, and simply just draw a line. Doesn't matter which pattern, doesn't matter how it looks, even if it looks ugly. Then show the close again and make a little solid. Make sure that the line goes below the finger rail. So if I extrude it, in this case we can use both sides. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna make it a bit bigger than this. No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it like that. And here you could make a little solid as well. So if I hide the close for a second, we could do this. We make a little rectangle with 3 points, sorry, a box with 3 points. And I just keep it like this. Okay, so now if I show the close, it's fully solid. Okay, now I only need to extrude again and chop everything off. So this has been chopped off, just this and this, chop them off. Okay, now I can delete this and all these shitty solids inside. I'm gonna put them all in the red layer. So here, okay. Actually, I can select this and this, and now make a polar array. And that's gonna be the end. Polar array, center polar array 38, enter, enter. Okay. Then we can hide the stones, and we are done. Of course, we're done modeling, but we need to save this into an STL file. First of all, we have here some lines that we don't need for any reason, so we can just select all the lines and delete them. How can we select all the lines in one go? There is no button here or any shortcut on the top. You need to write it down. So that is cell CRV 7829 selected to selection. Delete. I would usually keep the finger rail, but as we're just preparing the file for an STL file, doesn't matter. And now we need to boolean. I strongly recommend you to save at this stage, because sometimes when you make a boolean difference, it crashes. Full it, full it. Okay. So now let's make a boolean difference. Boolean. If you're lucky, it might work at the first, but sometimes it just doesn't. So you need to do little groups. I will also show you what to do when booleans don't work, because at some point they will not work. So don't go mental if, well, you probably will go mental anyway, but don't worry if booleans don't work, because there is always a solution. Magically, it worked, okay? But could be that it doesn't. So whenever it doesn't, I'll show you how to fix it. Then what else? We just need to export into whatever folder this is, fully. Then we look here for save as type, and we look for STL, and we call it fully. Okay. Okay, and that's it. The other thing I would recommend you to do is to use this software, which it's free, Netfab. Actually, I'm not sure if it still is free, but it might be worth having it. Why? Because it basically checks the STL files. So sometimes when you're modeling in Rhino or in Matrix, doesn't make a difference. The STL file that Rhino or Matrix produce could have some problems. Even if the boolean is right, if everything looks right, could be that those files are wrong. Wrong for the 3D printing. That means the file is technically okay, but it cannot be printed. Why? Because there are things out of your control, like internal Rhino geometry, that might be a bit fucked. Why this happens? Because of the way you model. How to avoid it? Experience, okay? I mean, I still have that problem, and many people do. But that's why it's worth to have this software, because this could save your printing, basically. Could be that you spend hours modeling something, and then you export it into an STL file, everything looks good, you put it into the printer, and surprise, it doesn't work. So this will help you. Still could be that this might not find all the problems, but most of them. Full ID. So we open the STL file, we have it in green. If we have it in green, it means that it's okay. But always do this. Repair. Even if it says that it doesn't need a repair. Automatic, default, execute, and apply repair. Remove all part. That's it. When it shows here on the right, full ID repair 100%, that means you did it right. Then, now we basically repair the STL file. We need to export it. Export part STL. Full ID repaired here in brackets. This is the good file. Okay. Save. That's it. You don't need to save this. So now basically, what is it? So now this is the file you would send to the 3D printing. Okay. Also, for something like this, I would probably not put spruce. You can put them yourself if you want. It's really up to you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you